All right, all y'all, how's it going out there? So here I am. This is Eileen Whipple, great friend of mine. I'm Brett Brimhall. Some of you guys know me, but I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to kind of have a conversation with Eileen because she's actually been a client of mine and a friend for really over 15 years. I've worked with her family for years. Actually, she moved from Georgia partially to let me work with you guys.
Yeah.
And she had a daughter that had autism for her whole life, and I met her, I think when you got about 5, when Nicole was about 5.
It's 5.
And so we want to kind of talk through and kind of share some of the things, because as I was listening and thinking about some of the things that I've learned from her, that maybe this could give some of you guys some hope and some understanding of maybe how to communicate with them. I know for me it's been life-changing to I've always wondered, like, how much of what we see in kids with autism is like they just don't get it, or is it they just can't get it out, right? And then as struggling as a physician to know what else can I do to help them function better. And I remember with Nicole, there's so many super cool things over the years, like to watch her have these progressions in some giant leap. So, and I don't know what it's like to live with a child with autism, right? But I learned how to communicate better with Nicole all the time from some of these things and experiences I've had. So I think they might be insightful for a lot of us. So Eileen, like, I know Nicole's 21 now.
Yes.
Right? And amazing to see where she is right now. But like, how many, like, what was it like growing up with her, like raising her as a mom? And like, what are some of the things that you tried to help her, like, just become the best version of herself?
Okay. So, hey everyone. Basically, I'd like to share a little bit what it was like when she was younger. For one thing, Nicole is the third child, and so when she didn't start talking or she didn't start doing things, we kind of blamed it on third child syndrome. And so we really were naive about the whole situation until she was about 6 and 8 years old.
Wow.
Until some neighbors came into our lives that said, you need to look into something. And we were like, oh, really? And that's when we started down this path of finding out that there was some neurological differences in Nicole. But growing up with her, she, an example is one day she was holding on to a cup, and it was just, I was just saying, just put the cup down. Just put the cup down. And those of you with autism in your home, you know that breaking a pattern of when they have something in their mind of what is supposed to happen is a real challenge. And I finally said, just drop the cup. Well, she didn't put it on the table. She dropped the cup onto the floor. And so we learned that we had to speak very literal with Nicole, and that everything was black and white. It was either true or false. And then we also knew we had some experiences of truth telling. So when the kids were little, I would say 4, 6, and 8, we lived in an apartment, and I went into the bathroom and there were spitballs all over the mirror. And I go in, I said, who did this? And the 2 older kids blamed it on Nicole.
Okay, right.
And luckily I had my wits about me, and I said, Nicole, who taught you to, I said, did you do this? And she said, yeah. I said, who taught you to do this? And then she goes, they did.
Oh, perfect.
And I go, well, I didn't really believe her. And so I said, show me how you did it. And she actually took the toilet paper and got it wet and threw it up against the mirror, it was just too funny. So living with this has taught me authenticity and love and pure trust and a lot of patience. A lot of coaching and understanding. One of my biggest challenges was having people who live next to us that are her age, and I'd see them out playing in the street, and I'd want Nicole to be invited out. Okay. Even though I knew Nicole wouldn't really interact with them, I just wanted that for my child.
Wanted to be included.
Yeah, wanted her included, and that always broke my heart. But then I had an experience with a great woman who said to Nicole, does that bother you? And she said, no. And it was a real eye-opening moment that what I perceived was joy and happiness wasn't hers. She was happy where she was. Yeah. And that's playing by herself and doing her own thing. And I learned to tap into that and let her be her. And that brought a lot of peace.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch her over the last few years. That insight is super helpful to know how to communicate better with them, and also what does bring them joy. Now, I know you've kind of traveled all over the country looking for therapies to help her, because she struggled in school. You struggle with the socially. She struggled with, expressing herself, right? So what are some of the things that you have tried or done to just help her like overcome some of the obstacles for her to literally be able to maybe take care of herself?
So I've made a lot of I made a lot of charts. We bought a lot of timers. We've done, I bought special watches. We've done it all, trying to find out what would gel with her, and things work for a short period of time. But the biggest thing is going to all these different natural paths and medical doctors. No one really had something that catapulted her. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, there's a doctor that I did see, and I want to share this with you guys if you can see this. This is a brain scan of a healthy person. So you can see the blue. This is our brain. And the blue is medium activity. The red is high activity, and that's your processing center. And then the white activity is hyperactivity. And that's what gives us our balance and our processing center. And when I went to him and he scanned Nicole's brain, and if you look at that, and you can see all the red and white over her entire brain surface. What this did for me as a mom is it helped me understand what she's really experiencing. And the doctor actually recommended a lot of supplements and some exercises like hyperbaric chamber, Dance Revolution, if you can believe it.
And she's good at it.
Yeah, she is. And so we took all these things and we were doing them, and they gave us baby step results. But the biggest thing for me, you guys, is understanding my child's brain is different. Mm-hmm. And it helped me be more patient as a mom and more compassionate towards her more than I was.
Yeah. And I know you've been to, how many different physicians do you think you've been to?
Oh my gosh. At least 15.
At least 15. And I know I've worked with her a lot and watched the progress. I remember we were so excited one time when she's like, oh my gosh, I let her go into the library to return a book by herself. Right? And she's like, oh my gosh, it was so good, because you're worried, like, are they going to be okay going in there? So think about the world, like, to be able to take care of herself. And I know that, you know, I've worked with you since she was, I think, 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly how old she was.
She was 5.
But I know in the last 4.5 years, like, we've seen some drastic changes. And I was working with another little autistic boy, and I worked with him every week for a year. And then literally this product his mom started giving to him, like, he literally had a 50% improvement in a matter of about 2 weeks. And I like, that doesn't happen. Like, you know, I've trained physicians all over the country, studied supplements, helped formulate them, and I'd never seen a result like that. And it got me seeing there's obviously something different that happened in this little boy, because he was doing 35 hours of therapy and seeing me. So one of the first people that I called on after I saw this was, I said, hey, like, maybe we should try this with Nicole. Like, what have you seen happen with Nicole really in the last 4.5 years? After applying what we call, it's called Nutrigenomics. It's literally, genetically, like, so when you look at those brain images, literally we talk about the brain doesn't function the same as somebody else's, right? What Nicole enjoyed is not the same as what maybe we enjoy. It's because her brain functioned differently. So their potential, or all our potential, literally can be unlocked if we understand how to activate different responses in the body. And that's really what happened to this little boy. And what's happened is we've done with Nicole.
So, just thrilling results. She was 17 when we started.
Oh, crap. I guess.
So, we actually, it was kind of amazing because we started and she was in regular high school classes, but she had an adult with her because she couldn't get the information out. She doesn't take notes like normal people because her mind is amazing, the memory in her mind. But her stuttering and her anxiety really overtook her ability to be able to communicate with people. So she always had an adult with her to help her adjust for that. So she's in this classroom with the teacher, and the teacher emails me and says, Nicole asked 4 questions on topic, and Nicole interacted with the classroom. I was like, that's really weird, but you know what? That can happen once in a while. And then she emails me Tuesday and Wednesday, and I went, there's no way. I have done thousands of dollars of supplements and therapies.
Let's just call it 10 to 1,000. That's really what it is.
Over the years.
Yeah.
And I have never had results like this. And she kept emailing me until Friday, and she said, I'm not going to email you anymore. And since then, one of my favorite experiences is that Nicole is terrified of Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Ronald McDonald.
That's right.
And
that's kind of strange, though, right? You know, Easter Bunny and Santa Claus.
Well, but I took her to Dora the Explorer at like age 8 because she loved it, and I bought close seats so we could see. She freaked out, and I was like, "No, I did everything to get you as close to her as possible, but I had to honor her and go to the back of the room." And anyway, nowadays I would have walked out with her, but I forced her to stay because I paid for those tickets. No, moms. But anyway, so...
Easter Bunny.
The Easter Bunny, thank you for refocusing me. So we started the end of November, and in December she came home from high school and said, Mom, Santa Claus came to the pep rally. And my heart sank. I am a hover mom. I want to always protect her and jump in before she has a reaction. And she goes, but Mom, I didn't feel like running. And I went, that's really weird. Wow. And then the next night we went to Special Olympics Christmas party, and she's dancing on the floor because that's what Nicole does. She sings and dances. And he comes out on the dance floor, and I sat there in my chair, and I literally...
Santa Claus came out of that.
Yeah, Santa Claus came out. And I sit there in my chair, and I'm literally holding my chair going, wait for her to react on her own. Wait for her to react on her own. And she freezes, and he danced not 6 feet away from her, and she just stared at him up and down for 3 songs. And then she started dancing when he left the floor. Wow. So her recovery time was amazing. So in 4 years, Nicole is not stuttering anymore. Her fears are greatly reduced. Her anxiety levels, she's able to communicate what she's learned. She's a walking encyclopedia. Yeah. And I just love being around her. She's laughing spontaneously. She has voice inflections, which she had a very monotone voice, and she loves to sing, and we would go, yeah, that's my child. But now we're like, yeah, that's my child. And she even starred as Belle in a special needs program, being Belle for Beauty and the Beast. So she's been able to flourish and be her best self.
Now, in watching that progress, like, I mean, obviously she was 17 when she started some of these things. Progression-wise, how much faster has she progressed in her ability to learn, retain, recall, remember, and really express life compared to what she was?
There's absolutely just, I can't even compare.
And do you feel like she's plateaued, or do you feel like she's still getting better?
That's the exciting thing, is I actually thought, based on experiences, that there was a cap on what people could do based on diagnosis or disease. And now I know I don't know how far this can go. Yeah. I'm excited for the future. As you moms may know, and dads if you're on, one of the biggest fears as an autistic parent or a special needs parent is what's going to happen with my child once we pass, because that's a reality. And I always worried about that, and I'm not so concerned about that anymore, because I don't know where the future is going to go.
Yeah, it is fun. And so what we see, and I love that about, because watching her life, really the last, since really a lot of her life, and watching her struggle in so many ways, and now doing things and overcoming, like even as simple as that Santa Claus thing is, the anxieties, the fears, the concerns, where she engages in play. I know also she swam for the Special Olympics, and they get gold. And
so Nicole's always been very frail, and very tiny, and
I can remember she had a hard time getting her to gain weight when she was little.
Yeah, right. And her endurance was just not there. Mm-hmm. And so we started Special Olympics, and with these products, they have whatever they've done in her body to build her strength. Mm-hmm. She was actually one of 6 people selected from state of Arizona to represent Arizona in the state USA Olympic Games. Mm-hmm. And she came home with a gold, bronze, and a silver. And her nickname is the Torpedo. And they laugh at that because she's so casual in her walk, and she's just so Nicole. I call it Nicole speed, actually, to tell you the truth. But when she gets in that water, she's like a torpedo. She's like a torpedo. So I'm thrilled for her.
Now, Eileen has something here that I just saw on her floor. We won't tell you what the rest of the floor looks like.
Please.
But that's literally what she was on. Like, Nicole was on, I think, what did you say? Like 24 different supplements a day, along with other therapies and stuff that she was doing. And so what I hope that we accomplish by sharing with you guys this story is that, as a physician, from my perspective, like, I always want to know what else can I do to unlock anybody's potential, and especially Nicole. Like, and one that we weren't trying, it wasn't that she wanted to go see other physicians, is that because of the technology advances that are taking place in medicine right now, there are people out there that are having results that they weren't having after, great physicians doing a lot of amazing things, but based on the best knowledge we had. Think about the technology advances you've seen when it comes to what we do with this whole Facebook Live or how we interact with people. What if we applied that same drive and technology to medicine, right? And the therapies we use, as well as the supplementation we use. So Nutrigenomics is that medicine. Biohacking is kind of the term you'll start to hear, where literally we're optimizing systems in the body. Like, even the one with her not being able to gain weight, like with what we're doing now with the timeless technology of some of the products, and the activation of certain gene responses like NRF2, which affects the body's ability to clean up, and RF1, which is ability to make energy, and literally the brain drink that we're using to help them. Like literally watching Nicole perform as Belle in that musical, like brought tears to my eyes. The thought of her being able to perform and watch her come home with these medals, one from the Special Olympics where she was just struggling to communicate, and to hear all these things was because of an experience that wasn't because of something I did. It was really because this little boy I was treating, his mom saw the technology, she started on it, which has then shaped and changed a lot of people's lives, and yours and mine both. Yeah. And so we hope that you guys, you'll share this with people that you know and care about. Don't give up, right? Yeah. You know, get information that helps you. For me to understand, okay, how to better communicate with Nicole, and there's a really cool video they did the other day of Nicole talking about what it's like to try to communicate with us, right? And how to help people like us feel more comfortable talking with her. And that was powerful also to witness. So, yeah, we hope that you guys share this with people that people that struggle with autism, or anybody that's just trying to become better versions of themselves. Just know that there are answers out there that you probably haven't been exposed to yet. We look forward to hearing from you, connecting with you. Eileen's got phenomenal insight. She's a teacher, right? That's what she did. And like even her own health journey, one day we'll talk on that. Like powerful experiences. If we can just learn how to apply the new technology in medicine that's happening and will happen, because we need that now. And watching Nicole, like the effects have actually been absolutely cumulative. We don't know how far she'll go, but we know now she's not stopped anymore. And that's what's awesome. Right. Anything else you want to tell the moms and crazy doctors out there that try to work with people?
It's just exciting what the future holds for us.
That's probably summed it up. It's exciting to know that there is a future.
That's true.
For Nicole and for other people out there, all of us, if we just know that there's other options. So thank you for taking the time to do this. All right, guys.
Thanks,
have a great day.